Gender? I hardly know her. I mean, I usually say that my gender is composed like 90% of hoop earrings and backwards baseball caps. There's a lot of black, except when there's a lot of pink. So yeah, it's either no color or the brightest possible colors with no in between. There's a lot that I like about femininity and being a girl and all that good stuff. But then there's so many times when I'm just like, don't, why? No, I don't want any of this. I mean, the way that I ended up kind of coming around to realizing that I was trans was just by definitely not wanting to be a guy. And I still feel that way. But it's weird to have some of those same feelings now about, like, being a woman. That's the other thing, is like, a woman. I've never thought of myself as a woman or a man, which I just don't think of myself as an adult. I'm in my late 20s. Um, I'm chill with girl in, like, some contexts. And I call myself a woman to, like, the straights. So I feel like I need to, like, prop myself up as I am a transgender woman and a lesbian at that. And so many of those words are not feeling like quite right lately. Yeah, as far as when I was young, I was pretty lucky not to get gendered real hard. My parents were not necessarily into that. Oh, but I do remember, like, in elementary school, I think it was kindergarten, it was like a playing house situation. And this feels like so stereotypical, but I'm like 90% certain that I did play the dog. Um, I was not the mom or the dad or any such thing. I think I was the dog. I don't even like animals that much. I guess that's just me dodging gender once again. I mean, I weirdly liked my younger years. Like, I feel like I peaked in middle school, like right before gender kicked in hard. I won, like, most outgoing that year, the most me I have ever felt. I just played video games and shot Nerf guns at my friends and wore a big hoodie and had no hair. And it was rad. It was a great time. And then, like, literally 1 year later, puberty kicked in hard. Like, my friends started talking about girls and that kind of thing, and then I loved girls, but it felt very different from everybody else, and I didn't know what to do with it. So, depression. Honestly, the most I ever felt gender weighing on me was going to weddings as a young adult, like my early 20s, when my girlfriend at the time, we went to so many of those together, and just weddings, why they could be so fun. Why is there so much gender? My parents have never gotten a non-binary person's pronouns correct, and that gives me a lot of anxiety. I know arguably no parents ever have. Surely some have somewhere, but I haven't seen it. But everything I've always done has been met with, like, parental approval, including me coming out as a trans lesbian, which I'm super grateful for, but I don't know how to do anything that my parents aren't chill with. And it's not that they wouldn't be chill, they would like try so hard. It would just be so fucking exhausting and painful, you know? Oofa doofa. But yeah, and I'm like, I'm over here, I get off of Zoom with my parents and my sister the other day, and my dad says like, "Good night, girls." And that should be like the best thing in the world, but it fucks my head all up. Yeah. Yeah. What is being out? So it's interesting. So I have been having a lot of like non-binary feelings lately. So I'm currently out as a trans woman, as a trans lesbian, I guess specifically. But lately that hasn't been feeling like spot on for me. And it's hard to tell if it's just this like coronavirus isolation. My gender expression is just slowly withering to like the same t-shirt and sweatpants. So I it's hard for me to tell if it's like reactive to that or if it's like what I'm actually feeling. But this has stuck around long enough that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start messing with some non-binary trans woman bullshit. I don't know about changing pronouns from she, her, or anything, but so I'm not out as non-binary, but that feels weirdly scary, like almost scarier than coming out the first time, because it feels like I kind of wrenched the wheel in this different direction and everybody's like just getting used to that, and now I'm gonna like mess it all up again. And then further from that is like the question of if this will ever stop, and just the possibility of, you know, future alterations to that. So being out is rad. I mean, when I came out the first time, I was met with a lot of support, and the only things that changed in my life changed for the better, and that's not true for a lot of people. And I feel really lucky. But coming out a second time is scary. And that's what I got.